Welcome to episode 5 of our Pact video series on TokenGo. Today we're just going to cover a quick intro to modules. We're going to show how to quickly format them. We're going to show an example of a capability. We'll make a couple functions, and I think we should just get right into it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to define a namespace here because we are in a live environment. So if you're doing REPL, you could go without this, but this is how we need to do it here. So outside of our module, we're going to define a namespace, and then we're going to define, let's just call the module me, and we're going to have it be governed by gov. So the first thing that's important to know is we need a capability called gov, and sometimes you'll see this true just in testing or false. False means you can never do anything with this, right? If you really wanted to brick your governance, that means nobody could upgrade it. We're not going to do that today. We're going to do read key set. Yes, and so anybody who's following along, if you do read key set chaos, any key set would satisfy this. So that's not really how you want to protect it, but we're just using this as an example, and we're going to expand on this later. But it is important to know that this will get you. You should be defining a key set with define key set, and then you can read in that key set into your code. But for now, this will work. You understand the difference. We're going to do a def const, so we're just going to bind to I, and then we'll define to hello. So those by themselves don't do anything. We could close our module, so you can see loaded module free.me means everything is good, and we could just do and aha. So these are outside of our module. These would get executed in our transaction if we were to run this. It's just an easy way to show like how you can reference constants in your code. So we're gonna use those in a minute, but let's create an init function. So define init, and we're gonna do content as string. So this is just when your function first runs. We're gonna say initialized successfully. Okay. Init. Maybe we can't do it that way. That's okay. So we can just do content. Perfect. And so init, and we did it. There you go. So this would get deployed. We would essentially be able to put anything in here. We did it. Okay, so this is how we know everything deployed. You can enforce things down here. You can enforce guards, things like that, if you really want to. But again, these are meant to be very, very simple. And so, okay, so let's say I wanted to protect this a little bit. So I'm going to add a capability. And let's just keep it simple. Let's just do gov. And we're going to wrap content in gov. But you see it works because I have key set defined when you connect your wallet to this site. But KS1 is not. So essentially treat this like if this was a key set on chain, it really is. Even though it's just a simple init function, it really does need to satisfy this capability. And this capability is not satisfied right now. So we'll do that. Well, now let's create one more. Defcap user. And then we're going to, let's say, content. And then enforce that content is equal to we did it. Oops. Okay. Well, we're not actually calling that yet. So let's switch this from gov to content and pass in our content. Received. Okay, that makes sense. That's fair. We are doing an evaluation that it's not happy with. So we could add here. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. So true, we did it. Content equals we did it, which look, we did it. Sorry, not sorry is something else. So let's change to something else. Look at that. Sorry, not sorry. So we know, because enforce can give us this information. We know that if for some reason we don't init properly, we don't satisfy this guard in this case. So in this capability, not a guard. I'm using this as a guard. Basically, this is our guard example. This is our enforce example. So we could add both of those in here. We could make it enforce that your key set matches chaos. We can enforce that your content equals we did it. Or you can just bail them out. And so you can't use this function then. So we need to go back and say we did it. You know, it's smart, right? It knows it has to be exact. And so that is like a high level of how you can structure and play around with your modules. You can have tables, you can have more constants. I would be careful how many of these you add. We could read from our table and pull out values, you know, if we wanted to show a user balance, kind of like our coin contract does, and token contracts. And really just, it's a starting point, right? This is meant to show you how you can format your modules. And so some people do ask me this, right? How do I build this? Why is my capability not working? Why do I need to add an enforce in here? And so those are like the little things that we keep adding and chipping away at of the reason you have these is to protect your contract. So I hope that this, again, intro, very, very intro level. I hope that this was helpful. If you want to expand on that, there's quite a few examples on GitHub. There's a couple on the Cadena community. I've got a number on my GitHub. Other developers have it on theirs. Play around with them. Try these simple modules. Figure out, you know, the syntax. Figure out the methodology. Figure out how to protect these functions before you go too much deeper. Have that baseline knowledge. And so if you find these helpful, I just appreciate if you can like, subscribe. On Twitter, it's retweeting is helpful, liking is helpful, and on YouTube, subscribing is helpful. So with that, I hope everybody has a good day, and we will continue expanding on these concepts. Thank you.